Welcome to the Take Your Power Back Show with Peak Performance Breakthrough Coach Kim Yeater. Today's empowering program will encourage you to step into your power, to take action in your leadership, and allow your voice to be heard. Listen in today as we speak to other freedom-loving Americans that are making a positive impact in the world by standing in truth amid adversity. Learn how to take your power back in your freedom, in your personal and professional life, in technology and creativity, and in your faith. Be inspired. Be encouraged. Be transformed. Together, let's take your power back with our host, Peak Performance Breakthrough Coach, Kim Yeater.
Well, hello, my freedom-loving Patriots. Welcome to the Take Your Power Back Show. That's right. It's time to take your power back. I'm your host, Peak Performance Master Coach, Kim Yeater. And today's show, we the people are sounding the alarm on a crisis tearing at the heart of our very nation: child exploitation and trafficking. This is a fight for our children, our values, and our future. And joining me is a true warrior for California, Sam Gallucci, a lifelong resident, pastor, author, and congressional candidate who's devoted decades to serving the vulnerable. From founding the Kingdom Center, which has sheltered over 3,000 women, to launching Treasured Harvest for migrant families, Revive Academies for better education, and leading Embrace Church in Oxnard, Sam's life is a testament to faith in action. He's also the author of More Than Animals and a Love That Nobody Wants. And he's running for Congress right here in the state of California to bring this fight to Washington. His call to action today: get in the fight, California. Sam is hosting the America's Future Get in the Fight California Summit this Friday and Saturday, August 22nd and 23rd at Embrace Church in Oxnard. This is it here in California to equip us all to combat child trafficking right here in our neck of the woods. Patriots, this is our moment to take our power back and protect our kids. Let's do it. Let's get in the fight together. Sam Gallucci, welcome to the Take Your Power Back Show.
Hello, Kim. It's great to be on your program, and I love your energy and all that you do for all of us. Thank you.
I have to say, it takes one to know one, right? Thank you so much, Sam. I'm so encouraged to have you here today. And I'm also encouraged to get time with you and the team in Oxnard this weekend. But let's actually get a little taste of your story. Not everyone understands like where you've come from. You've gone from the highs of highs to having it all to powerfully choosing to do the work that serves God. So you left a high-flying career at IBM and PeopleSoft to follow your calling. What was it that sparked the shift, and how did it lead you to found the Kingdom Center in Oxnard?
Yeah, in one word, Jesus. And so I will tell that story. It's really, I'm humbled by it. It's an extraordinary yet common story of how God can touch a life and transform it so completely that you never look back. I was born in New York, but raised here in California, 64 years here in California, and, followed the American dream. My parents came here for the California dream, and, had a great upbringing and all of that, and graduated from San Diego State, met my wife of 44 years,
Beautiful.
August 29th. And then I was fortunate enough in 1981 to be at the very ground floor of the industry that would one day become, dominate and change the world. That's the software industry. So I started at IBM. 4 years in, there was this first generation of technology that was open, that you could write, and you can write any kind of software on any kind of computer. This was before that was even a thing. And so being on the ground floor of that, it was extraordinary. This entrepreneur pioneering spirit came upon me, and I left the comfort of IBM and went into the wild, wild west. and became one of the founders of what's now called customer relationship management. So by the time I was 40, I was running a multi-billion-dollar division of a company and traveling the world, bodyguards, private jets, limo drivers, and we had everything. I raised my kids in the Canal Valley and Westlake Village. We were up in Marin County for 4 years. But I had really drifted away from God quite significantly, became a workaholic and was driven by my work and was really far from God when I had a divine encounter with the Holy Spirit, and just a really dry season. My wife and I were struggling in our marriage. The work and the fame and the fortune had taken its toll. So it was in 2000 that I had a major personal revival with God at the peak of professional, success. There was just so much dryness and barrenness in my life and my relationships. My oldest son was graduating high school, and I missed so much of his childhood. And I had this divine encounter with God, and it was so complete. It was kind of being born again, if you will. And so I came home, and I remember pleading with God, because I love my family, I love my wife, and I said, God, if you just rescue me from, I become this image of myself that is not completely aligned with who you made me to be. My identity got so caught up in my work and my title and my prestige and my position that I had really lost my way. And so I came home, made a major work-life decision to rebalance my life. We after a few years of just reintegration with my family, God just started to work in our marriage and my family. I wrote my first book called Road Warrior. It was published by Random House, and it set me on a path to find the kingdom of heaven in all that I do. And so here I am. I'm this, this high-powered executive, 40 years old. I've run this company. I learned, how to do the deed, how to manage major budgets and people all over the world, and all these public opinions, lawsuits, all that stuff. And now I'm on the sidelines and recovering. I was a recovering workaholic. And
human doing rather than human being. Yes,
exactly. And
I understand.
And just this miracle testimony of how God rescued me, rescued our family, and our rescue was so profound. We ended up on the 700 Club talking about what God did, and then and then this book came out, Road Warrior, and then God just started to work. I felt the call to ministry, and so the first 20 years I served my family, I served the businesses that I worked, but the second 20 years I served the community and the people in the community.
And Sam, you went on through the Kingdom Center to have helped over 3,000 women and their children.
Yes.
Now, can you share a story that shows the impact of your work, especially when it comes to protecting kids from exploitation?
Yeah, and this is where it really became very real to me. So God called my wife and I to pastor a little church in Midtown Ventura called the Harbor Church, and very quickly it was clear that our call was to help the homeless. And we were way over our head. We had not done much with the homeless, but the city of Ventura had a large homeless problem, like so many beach cities do, and had asked the church to help. This was back in 2007. And by 2008, we had started this, just this entrepreneurial spirit. What can we do to help? And we created this daytime chapel service that really was geared around serving the homeless. And homeless would come and miracles were happening. Wow. So within 6 months, we had, 50, 60 homeless at our church during the day. We would do a chapel service. We gave them the decency of a real bathroom to use, a real shower to shower, a washer and dryer to do their laundry. Homeless people doing laundry.
Yeah, that's important.
And because we had such an affluent previous lifestyle, we went to all our friends in Westlake Village and asked for their old clothes. And so we were getting Gucci and Armani and all these beautiful.
Of course, it's Westlake.
close.
Great ice skating, by the way.
Right. And so this thing was just exploding, and God was moving. And it was about 6-7 months in, where my team and I, we would walk on the streets of Ventura, and it was late in the afternoon, and we started noticing these young girls walking the streets doing tricks. And it's like, whoa, what is that? And so I brought the team in, and we prayed, and we got, a small group of women that were really powerful women in the Lord, very courageous. And we decided, listen, give them a card that said, when they're done work, come to the harbor during the day and rest, and we'll take care of you. So they would go, and they would simply just do that. Hey, when you're done with your work, come and see us. And lo and behold, within a week, we would get these young girls. I mean, I was appalled. I can't imagine they were 18 years old. They're 14, 15, 16-year-old girls. Some of them were 18, 19, 20. And they would come and they would rest. It was tragic. And, and the lipstick, and that you could tell that they had been physically, abused multiple times that night in prostitution. And they would rest, and they would just be weary and exhausted and really messed up. So we started to work with these women, and we started to look for places to send them. And before you knew it, we were rescuing these trafficked women off the streets of Ventura. They would come. We had a whole process of talking about God's love and God's destiny, and we would speak life over them. And slowly but surely, we would get them out of the area, and we would send them down to the Dream Center and other locations, working with Matthew Barnett.
Yes, we know the Barnetts. That's amazing.
So after rescuing, we rescued a dozen, and I'll never forget the story. This is the God story. First of all, their stories were tragic, and the two stories. One was the supernatural provision of God as we're rescuing this woman. We're learning about their stories, this tragic stories of their past. And Sunday mornings was always interesting for us because our church services, half of them were homeless and half of them were people with homes. And so it was not unusual to get, chronically ill homeless that would just come in for our services. It was emotional, it was touching, but you just never know who was there. So this one Sunday, after we rescued about a dozen women from being trafficked on the streets of Ventura, at the brothels and stuff, and it's a big deal over there. Even to this day, I think there's still stuff going on. This Chicano gentleman comes in with this woman who I had just spoken to the Friday before, and she ran away, and he came in and he was all disgruntled and angry. And we were doing our church service, and I was up at the front and kind of like leading worship, and he got out of the row and he started to come to charge me, and no one was around him. And all of a sudden it was like an angel. It's like something picked him up and slammed him to the ground.
Wow.
Head on the ground. And I didn't know what was going on. So I came down to try to talk to him, because that's what I did. I would talk to anyone. And what's your name, son? And he wanted nothing to do with me. And then he got back up and he lunged. And as he lunged, he went to pull a gun out of the back. And I didn't really understand what was back there. And then again, with no one around him, he got slammed right on the steps at my foot, just slammed with his head. So I went down, I started to talk to him, and I just felt the Lord tell me to tell him, it's like, is your name Steve or Stephen? And he goes, yes. And I said, what happened to you as a child should never have happened to you. I want you to know that God sees you, God knows you, and he loves you. And so I started to minister to the pimp, and he gave his life to Christ. He started to weep, and he said, Pastor, forgive me. I have a gun. He pulls this gun out, and I need to dispose of it. Can I leave? And so he leaves. And
Oh my goodness.
And I thought to myself, God, you're so good. And
yes.
So I am in the middle of rescuing in my city these women, and I realized that every city has them, and you got to get in the fight. You got to do what you can do. And you don't have to, it's not like it's in Uganda or some other crazy place. it's in our backyard,
Right here.
right
Mhm.
here. So
That's right.
I kept, rescuing these girls, and one of them, and knives, guns were pointed at me, knives, people charging me, but every single time God provided, and I was just,
No weapon forged
no
against you
weapon formed
shall
against us.
prevail. Come
So,
on.
it was the supernatural provision of God. But this one
Yes.
woman, this one girl, her name was Melissa,
Hmm.
and we were trying to help her, and she grabs my collar. She goes, "You don't understand what I've been through." And I said, "Tell me, Melissa, tell me." And she proceeds to tell me a classic, tragic story that,
Mhm.
her dad left her. Her mom was a raging drug addict and
Mhm.
was selling her, trafficking her in her home for the drugs.
Mhm.
And so, as early as she can remember, 6 years old, these men would come in, not to have sex with her, but to have sex with her daughter. And these men would come in and give her cocaine or give her heroin. And then they would go into the room. And while her mommy is shooting up, she'd be screaming, getting violently abused by these men. And, it's another part of trafficking that we don't understand, which is when a mother traffics her daughter.
That's right.
You know, it's just insane. And so this was happening to Melissa. And now you fast forward, and she was 17 years old, and just bitter and angry and violent. And we were showing so much love, but it was difficult for her to receive it in the violence of the hate. With the love of God was
Yes. And it was a lot of that self-hate, because that's what ends
That's
up
right.
happening when you're that young.
That's
So
right.
how did all of that pan out?
So we had a ministry of deliverance, and so we met with her.
Amen to that ministry.
And what's that?
I said amen to that ministry.
Amen. Oh yes, we did a
Come
lot
on
of
for deliverance.
We did a lot of deliverance. Spiritual, mental, emotional
Yes.
trauma, is deep. And so another, being an entrepreneur, I got involved with spiritual deliverance, but also tied it directly to mental and emotional deliverance.
Beautiful.
So working with marriage and family therapists, along with spiritual deliverance, we started to work with these women.
Come on.
And you set them free from the fear, the shame, the guilt, the abandonment, the rejection. All these are spiritual forces. And when you partner with them in a traumatic moment, it sets up what the Bible calls a stronghold. And those strongholds manifest every time you relive that memory. You start to shake with fear, or you feel the anxiety again. That is a stronghold that 2 Corinthians 10, 3 and 5 discusses. So we started to care for Melissa that way. Next thing you know, Melissa is on the train tracks, and ready to be. She tried to take her life 3 times, and each time we rescued her, and then ultimately she gave her life fully to Christ. It was such a complete rescue of this young girl.
Amazing.
That I was able to call her mother. And by then her mother had become a Christian. Her mother had cleaned up her life, and her mother was praying that one day she would reunite with her daughter. And it was in that moment that the mother asked for forgiveness, and we were able to facilitate the mother and daughter reunion.
Wow.
And you just can't make this stuff up.
You cannot make this stuff up. With God, I'm telling you, he moves the needle. He brings it together. And because you love him, Sam, because you were obedient to the calling, you were entrusted to him who is given. Much will be expected, right? What is the scripture? To him who is given little. And when we do well with little,
that's
much will, right? Along those lines.
If you're faithful with little, he will give you more.
Yes.
And when he gives you more, to much that is given, much is expected. And so as your mantle increases, God has a bigger expectations that you will guard that mantle well. Yes. And that's certainly something we need to do.
Absolutely incredible. That story is it's beautiful, and I can see how that strengthened your faith, and
Yeah.
how God even restored your identity
Oh my word, it was
in His
incredible.
power through this process.
You know, I started a second center, so I did this crazy idea of this hotel. We
Hmm.
had this walk-in church called the Harbor. It was a miracle in Ventura for the first 7 years. It was extraordinary, and then out of that, we were able to acquire very creatively an old motel downtown Ventura during the height in 2009 of the housing crisis, and I was able to get 21 churches under the cross in unity, renovating this. And as we would rescue these women and these children, we would then have each church adopt them in their community. And while we did transitional living with professional services and care.
Wow.
And then I launched Gabriel's House. So that was a family center. And then we launched in the neighboring city when I learned about aged out foster girls and boys and girls. And when they age out, 80% are kicked out. And that's a whole nother level of trafficking, because when so many of these girls, the average girl that's in foster care is bounced 7 times from kindergarten to 12th grade. And you imagine, if you are with 7 different families over that period of your life, you're pretty messed up, right? And a lot of these girls will end up getting on the street, getting trafficked, getting shredded. And there's so many stories of how God has redeemed them. When you step out in faith and you do something that God calls you to do, the miracles of life and transformation are just extraordinary.
That's right. That is just so beautifully said. Sam, you have really set an example of local action equals national impact. We see that all the time. Those are General Flynn's famous words amongst many
Yes.
others, right? So I just want to acknowledge you for the impact that you've made.
Thank
And
you.
we're going to take a moment, Sam, just to thank our sponsors who keep freedom alive. And when we return, we're going to take a look into your broader efforts, and we'll talk a little bit more about this event coming up in
Yes.
your church this weekend. And we're here to take our power back, but we're also here to get in the fight, California. That's key. So, Sam, we're going to be back with you in just a moment. All right, my freedom-loving patriots. I mean, what an honor to have Sam Gallucci here today. He is a true patriot. He is a fighter for freedom, and real freedom that comes from our Creator. So we're really just getting started in the fight for California. And Get in the Fight, California. And Sam Gallucci's work with the Kingdom Center is proof that one's faith and action can change lives. He didn't stop when she walked away, threw herself on the train tracks once. He didn't stop when she attempted her life twice. He didn't stop after the third time. He continued. And because of that, that woman has a relationship with Christ. She has her real, true freedom. We're talking today about protecting our children and people just like that amazing woman from exploitation and trafficking. And there's more to come. But first, let's go. We're going right on in to thank our freedom-loving patriot, Mike Lindell, who has done a very special offer for the Take Your Power Back show and all of our listeners. Let's listen in.
Just like all of you, I had problems sleeping. I had tried every pillow out there and nothing worked. I'd flip-flop all night, use my arm for support, and fall asleep, or I'd wake up with a sore neck or maybe a headache. Well, quality sleep comes from keeping your neck straight at night. You have to fill in that space between your head and your bed. That's why I invented My Pillow. My Pillow's patented fill adjusts to your exact individual needs, and it doesn't matter if you sleep on your back, stomach, side, or any combination of all 3.
When I got My Pillow, I'm asleep almost immediately. I stay asleep at night and I wake up more well-rested in the morning.
So go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to get Classic King My Pillows for only $19.98. Queen size just $18.98. Standard Classic My Pillows only $14.98. That's right, only $14.98. Plus all orders $75 or more ship absolutely free.
Thank you, Mike Lindell, for your stand of freedom. We support you because you support we the people taking our power back and taking our elections back. Go to mypillow.com/Kim. You deserve a good night's sleep. I'll tell you, I went to bed close to midnight last night, prepping, working on the show. That's what it takes to keep freedom alive. And because of my complete mattress sleep system, my Giza Dream bed sleeps, and my nice little cushiony My Pillow that fits into the crook of my neck, I had an amazing night's sleep, and I could be present with you today. So support our sponsor, support our patriot, Mike Lindell. Go to mypillow.com/Kim. That's mypillow.com/Kim. And a little plug here, Tina Peters. If you didn't see the Truth Social post, go check it out. You'll find it on all my platforms in regards to Tina Peters. I love you, President Trump. We are going to free Tina Peters, and we're going to hold the corrupt accountable. So friends, free Tina Peters, support her at tinapeters.us. It might be a can of tuna. When you send food over, it keeps Tina fed and healthy. Free Tina Peters now. Go to tinapeters.us to support Tina Peters as well. Now, our next sponsor, guys, I am so excited to share Patriots Made with you. So, what is a patriot? A patriot is a stand for freedom, or it is those who are willing to put a stake in the ground and say, I will not be moved. I am no longer going to ride on the coattails of my forefathers. I'm going to stand in the gap. And that's exactly what our Patriots do. They stand in the gap. And our Patriots Made resource is doing just that. Patriotsmade.com/Kim is standing in the gap. And what does that look like? Let me tell you, are you tired of the corrupt? Are you ready to bankrupt the corrupt? It's time for we the people to truly take our power back. General Flynn says local action equals national impact. It starts locally right here in your home, what's around you. And that might start by your everyday purchases. So if you continue to purchase like I did 20 years ago from Procter & Gamble, Colgate-Palmolive, Johnson & Johnson, Unilever, the big box retailers that have ingredients in their products that are toxic, parabens, alcohols, sulfates, triclosan, quaternary disinfectants, guys, those are heavy metals. And I just asked a group of people yesterday, what is the biggest organ of the body? That's right. It is. You're correct. It's your skin. What's on your skin within 26 seconds hits the bloodstream. All those products, the illusion of choice that we grew up with, that the television tells us to buy, are toxic. They're in our bloodstream. It's time to get them out. Tap into our American Patriot debt-free USA Today named America's best brand. They are amazing. You got to check them out. They make over 450 products that are better, safer, and a whole lot less expensive than the stores. You want to turn on the lights to the body? You want to get rid of your allergies, your eczema? You want real results for high blood pressure, high cholesterol, diabetes? Guys, go tap in. It's time to take your power back today. I love these guys. Go to patriotsmade.com/Kim. That's patriotsmade.com/Kim. I took my power back, and you too can take your power back. Bankrupt the corrupt today. Switch to American made. patriotsmade.com/Kim. All right, we are going to release that beautiful sponsor right now who keeps freedom alive. We're going to pop back into the Take Your Power Back show, and you guys are in for such a treat today. We have with us pastor. He's not just he's a pastor that says tons. He is an entrepreneur. He is running for Congress. He is a warrior standing for getting in the fight, California. He's a warrior for our children. He's a warrior for those that have been trafficked, those that are in sex slavery. He has been fighting the good fight for some time. And I'm telling you, he is the warrior in the room today. His name is Sam Gallucci. Sam, welcome back to the Take Thank you. Well, I got to tell you, Sam, your story is touching.
Thank you.
And I think that, Sam, the reality is when we talk about these real life things that occur, for the average person, let's just say the average American that maybe went through something like molestation, that maybe was raped, maybe went through their own trauma.
Right.
It is so natural for them to go blah, 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 tune
Yeah.
out because
Oh,
it
yeah.
brings up the pain.
Right.
But here's the great thing. We bring this to the table today, and I see your heart of bringing it to the table because you want everybody to have that type of freedom. And
Yes.
the average American, all of our patriots, I mean, none of us are really average. All of us humans are extraordinary. When we're healed, we now create the space for others to step into so that
Exactly.
we can be that space of healing.
That's
And I
right.
really believe that that's what you're bringing to light is we have the ability to create that space of healing.
It's so true. And, it's interesting. I'm also quite involved with the whole immigration crisis. That's the second
Yes.
part of the story. And one of the things that people are beginning to realize is how many that have been integrated in society don't have legal papers. It's like, what, even you. It's the same thing with those that have been exploited, taken advantage of. Because when you think of trafficking, most people think of it as this traditional cartel steals you and sends you into our nation and uses you as a sex slave. And that is truly one of the big issues. But there are so many people that we have no idea that have been physically abused in their childhood. They were molested in their childhood. I mean, these are people that, you would look at their lives, it look like they have normal lives, but the percentage is huge. And in my circle, I found that to be maybe as much as a quarter of all the people that I have met because of the work I do. There's, as a pastor, I'm privileged to be a safe place for those in my circle to come. And I'm blown away. And now I'm not anymore. I'm not surprised.
Yes.
Pastor, that was me. I was molested at 5. I was molested at 8.
Yeah.
And the stories go on and on. And so what's happened in my circle, it's back to what you said, Kim, is if you're faithful in a little, God will give you more.
Awesome.
And in these unusual ways that I have gotten involved in this fight to end the exploitation of children, it has opened up all these other avenues of children that have been exploited in households and separated families where an uncle, a grandfather, molested the boy or the girl. And finding healing is universal. And the power of God, when you understand that there is a spiritual, strongholds that are very real, that they carry forward. What ends up happening to a life is that you start to create all of these bad habits, these habits of the flesh, because the wound is so great of how you were trafficked, someone else was trafficked.
Yes.
And again, I realize that it's beyond just the traditional way that kids are trafficked. They're trafficked inside of families more than we know. But
right. And the people that are supposed to be their safe people.
Safe people, right.
Right.
And exactly. And so for me, I'm realizing that we need to spot, there are things that we can do to spot somebody that has been trafficked in a family. In other words, abused by a loved one. But what happens with those individuals is the wounds are so great, and they grow up. They never address that soul tie. They're called those ties with those lies.
Yes.
With parts of them that are so broken. They have replaced the identity of Christ with the identity of being abandoned or of shame, right? Or guilt or whatever it is. They start to develop bad habits, and they get triggered when someone does something that there's a memory that's somewhat associated to what happened to them in that bedroom or that living room or wherever it was. So this is, getting in the fight for me. When we get to this conference, my dream is that every eye is open to all the ways children are exploited, because the enemy has integrated. This is one of the most tragic things on our planet today, is what's happening to children. You know, the darkness is killing them in the womb. And if they can't kill them in the womb, then they try to kill their ability to procreate through the grotesque transgender agenda with chemical castration. And if that doesn't work, then they will abuse them. And that spiritual force, it's at all layers of a child's life, because the enemy directly attacks the children of God.
That's right. That is so well said. You know, I want to go back for just a moment. These are a couple things that you said that are so important for us to understand. You know, and I'm sure we're going to learn tons this weekend at this event. So it's so important, guys. Be at this event in Oxnard. Go to the website down below. It's the 22nd and 23rd. Get trained up. This is also an opportunity for healing for you to be in a safe space. Go to americasfuture.net/get-in-the-fight-California, or just go to America. Hold on one second. It's coming up. It's coming up. It's called americasfuture.net. It'll direct you to events, and just click on the event that's in Oxnard, California. So, Sam, you know, I have a background as a master practitioner in neurolinguistic programming, timeline therapy, and then 28 years of coaching. And I've seen so much over the years of coaching. But the insight, this is how awesome God is with all the tools that are provided. When you have been healed yourself and you are a survivor, God gives you that insight, that wisdom, that discernment. And one of the things for us to remember is, even if we are that safe person that is helping that child that's being rescued, you mentioned that they can become triggered. And what ends up happening is, you know, those cognitive stages of development, right, where the wound begins. In order for the brain to survive, we put a way of being on inauthentic to who we are. That's the soul tie, that identity that is a lie from the pit of hell. And there's a part of us that separates from the whole to survive. It's a survival mechanism. And so it takes so much patience, like that woman who shared the example of 3 times. And I just love that you're in this fight. So let's go on for a second, because we didn't get to touch on this, and we're going to take a deeper dive into the migrants. And let me preface this. You know, I led the Take Our Border Back movement across the country. I had the privilege of co-founding TakeOurBorderBack.com. We reach hundreds of millions internationally. Right. Now, Sam, we're all about closing the border. We're all about legal immigration.
Get that border closed.
Yes. So when I hear, you know, you're feeding and helping all these migrants, but listen, I love Jesus and I love people and I want people to be taken care of. How do you mesh that? Like, how do you separate it, put it in the right place where there's national security, right? We're making sure that they are legal immigrants, and then yet you're still taking care of people here. Help us to wrap our heads around.
Absolutely. I'm really glad you asked that question, because it's one of the big reasons why I'm running for Congress. We have lost our state of California. And we have all kinds of issues right with the state, but it's so far gone, where you have 42% of the population are conservative Republicans, independents. But of those 2 groups, only 18% are actually in our state assembly or Senate. Why? So we look at all these other places, including the voting machines, and we should. But the single biggest issue that we need to understand is voter fraud, is the immigration issue. And so here is God has thrown me right in the middle of this issue and given me a real understanding. You have 2 separate populations. One that is developed over 40 years, that they were incentivized to come for work, and when they came, we all hired them. We hired them over the last 40 years. Whether Democrats were in control or Republicans, nobody really addressed comprehensive immigration reform. More to the point, as these people came in the country, we hired them not only in every major industry, agricultural, hospitality, but even on our homes. We hired them as housekeepers, cleaners, nannies, gardeners, and for the last 40 years, this is the working class. They are not. They don't feel entitled. They've integrated into society, and with that population, I say, let he who is without sin cast first stone. All right. Then under Biden, you have this entitlement class that came in. When they came in, it was a highly intentional effort, but it was not what we actually think. That, you know, how many came in? The same number, maybe 15, 20 million. And while they came in, the Republican base gets all stirred up and comes up with takes the bait of the Democrats that they all have to go. Anything is amnesty, get them all out. So we do nothing. They go, perfect, do nothing. Because they already know it's all about it was a 0+ gain. How many do they gain? So how many realistically can Trump get out? 3.5 million, maybe another 3.5 million. So they're sitting with big smiles on their face. We've already won. While the Republicans look like clowns, infighting and complaining in the theory that they all need to go, no exception, knowing that the most he can get out is maybe 3.5, 4 million. Let's be realistic now.
Right.
So they've just added another 12 million. But where did they go? They have been sent strategically to jurisdictions where while we complain and do nothing and stand on our holy high horse, they're slowly integrating them into the voting rolls on those states.
Right.
They're slowly adding them to the censuses. And what will happen at a blink of an eye is what happened to California. Over 4 million undocumented are voting. Wait, what happened? Why are we losing elections? So their goal is to do nothing and let that process continue. Now that class that came in are very different, right? Biden gave them all kinds of stuff, that entitlement class. Their attitudes are different. There's a lot of criminals in there.
Yes.
And we have seen both of these two in Oxnard, my city. And so what we're dealing with is it's a huge wake-up call to all Republicans. Stop fighting and taking this holy high ground that is unrealistic and understand this multiple dimensional game of chess. So what do? This is the key, and this is the strategy God's given me. And one of the main reasons why I'm running for Congress, because to save California, you got to go to the federal. You have to go federal. You see what Trump's doing to start to help save multiple states and jurisdictions. Yeah. It has to come with strategic federal law. So check this out. While I was serving the homeless and dealing with trafficking in 2012, I was making so much progress. I didn't understand it at the time. All hell broke loose. During the Obama years, a new city council was voted in. Not enough conservative Christians voted. And all of a sudden, they were trying to shut down my church. And I really didn't understand that at the time. And so major legal battle, we get shut down. They tried to crush me. That whole story is in my book, A Love That Nobody Wants. A couple of people are possibly looking to make it into a movie. We'll see. But read the story, because it's a patriotic story of losing everything. And here I am. I'm fighting human trafficking. I'm rescuing kids. I'm rescuing parents in homelessness. I'm doing all this stuff. And the city is determined to shut down this church. So it's an extraordinary battle. Well, all that's going on. They shut down my daytime church. They said the only day you can be open is Sunday. So that's all part of the story. So I've got all this food, no place to take it. It's 2014 now. I've gone through the city council process. We weren't given they said that what we're doing is not a religious activity. You need a permit. And then when we filed, they wouldn't give us the permit. Now I'm in federal court. It's a dark time. And I bring food to the neighboring city of Oxnard, and because they were hungry and I had all this food, and all these little Oaxacans come out. I didn't know who they were at first. And I go to my friend Louis, Louis, who are these people? Pastor, these are the undocumented farm workers that pick our berries. And I started to understand God's heart to reach them for the gospel. So that's how it started. You fast forward to today, 3,000 have gotten saved by the gospel. 200 call me their pastor. And they're all merit-based workers. They're all very integrated in society. I've been working with them for 12 years. I have fed them. I have clothed them. I've done multiple quinceañeras. We've planted Bible studies in their community. My wife cares for over 500 of the kids. We've rescued those migrant kids from getting trafficked many times, getting sucked into gangs. And we're in the fields of Oxnard, and we've been serving them faithfully. I'm actually doing something in immigration. So first of the year, we realized that there's, Trump, we're supporting ICE. Trump is getting the bad guys out. They're coming to Oxnard. And members of my community, Pastor, help. What do we do? So I came up with a program called Merit-Based Mercy. And I took a questionnaire off the federal website, and I started to certify my community as farm workers. And then we created a very different strategy when working with ICE. Instead of the garbage of the left, resist arrest, hate law enforcement, use these red cards, run away. And if they catch you, say nothing and show them that you have rights. Well, that's the stupidest thing in the world, because I think, okay, you're hiding something and they're going to detain you, which is exactly what the left wants. But what we do is something very different, which we say cooperate with ICE, work with ICE, and be at peace, honor them.
That's right.
And then answer their questions, show them your ID. They'll probably fingerprint you. They'll see if you have a record, any other criminal. If not, show them your card that says I'm a certified worker, and then pray for mercy. This has been working. So over 100 of my workers that's done. Because of that, I'm getting national recognition. 2 of the congressmen that have bills have called me, and I'm now in the middle of their bills. I've created a proposal for a bill. Why I say all this is I see directly, because I'm in the weeds, these populations here in Oxnard. They're very different. We need to separate the 2 populations and understand that the workers need to stay. And if we lead with immigration reform, that's an 80-20 MAGA issue. So get comfortable. Don't get crazy on me. This is an 80-20 issue. We got to do something. We care for the 8 to 10 million that have proven to be integrated into society, that can be properly vetted, that don't have a record. We give them legal work permits. That's it.
Legal work permits.
Guess what happens? Those 10 million are taken off the board. Guess what happens? Now we can get them off of all the voter rolls all across the country. We can retake those Social Security numbers, take them off of the census for voting. And guess what happens in the state of California? I will rescue the state, because there's probably 4 million of them voting. But once they get this card, they won't be voting, and we'll start winning elections. And you take them off the field, you gain public opinion again. This is a middle issue. It's like, wow, the Republicans have mercy. Look what they're doing for all of these great people. And you solve a lot of other problems. Now you've got all the public support for the 12 million, and you go get them. Obviously, we're only going to get 3 or 4 million, but what it does is it exposes the darkness, and it destroys the fake news, lies, and conflating and all this nonsense. And I know personally, because I live in the city where it's all happening, and I'm working with these people. It's not just talk. Theory. When the big thing happened in Camarillo, we were 1 block away caring for 30 migrant kids. 1 block away. So this is very real. And so for me, this also affects getting in the fight for exploiting, for trafficking. When you get those 8 million people off the board, you can expose the black market much more effectively. And that's where that's where the cartels are putting people in my city, and not on my watch in my city, but in all cities as well. You can start to address that. Solving one problem has a ripple effect to solve a lot of problems. It's the wisdom of Solomon. So Republicans, let's lead with mercy and get these people legally documented, and stop the Democrats from taking control in all these other jurisdictions. Stop complaining and start doing something.
Love it.
You've entered into their trap, because they know only so many can actually get, so get frustrated and angry all you want, but that's the reality of our situation.
Leading with mercy and taking our California back. Sam Gallucci, come on. I'm going to play your campaign video. That way people get a taste of you running for Congress. Absolutely love it, Sam. Here we go.
Hi, I'm Sam Gallucci. I'm here in the fields of Oxnard, where we have a major immigration crisis that needs to be addressed. Yesterday, when ICE came into Ventura County, what happened? The politicians came out in force and grandstanded. I'm running for Congress to fix this problem. I've been working with the immigrant community now for over 12 years. Many of them call me their pastor. Thousands I've worked with through my festivals. We know the people. We care for a lot of the children. On my website, you'll see a plan. It's a common sense plan that addresses the issue. It's called my Merit-Based Mercy Plan. Check it out. It's time for us to come together and put people above politics.
Sam Gallucci. Sam, I love you. Wow, that was an incredible segue. You know, God is amazing how he guides the conversation. You know, when you let him lead, it's always powerful. And what I see and hear, Sam, is you are letting him lead, because when people look at the Republicans right now, they just see cold-hearted.
Yes.
And for me personally, you know, leading the Take Our Border Back movement, I really wanted to balance that, because it was about, you know, the treason that was happening by the Biden administration,
Right,
which caused the national breach of security, right? And so I got it. And I saw that these people were truly pawns. They were being used.
Oh, exactly.
Now, at the same time, how we handle this moving forward, it requires wisdom and mercy. So, you know, the entitlement, 100%. I've interviewed many of the illegal immigrants. So the ones that came in during that open border period, we send them back. We love and release. We love and release.
And release.
Okay.
That's right.
And release. And then, you know, I mean, I'm looking at the crops right now. You know, we were just looking at land that you just showed us, but the crops are being, no one's picking the crops right now because they're off running and hiding. And so there's got to be a way that works. I really love this common sense, merit-based, it's called merit-based system. Is that what it's called?
Merit-based mercy plan.
Merit-based mercy. So beautiful. So now let's before we go to our next, you know, commercial break, not really a break, but we're going to take a moment to thank our sponsors that make the show possible. Let's connect the dots. So we've got the Kingdom Center, we've got Treasure Harvest, we've got Revive Academies. This is all things you've created. How are they shaping your fight against child trafficking on the national stage when you step into Congress?
So what happens is there's a common denominator of all three of these, and that's to end child trafficking.
Yes.
And when you couple all of the ways that children are trafficked within the immigrant community because they're so vulnerable, and also within the homeless community, and then the third dimension is education, is public education.
Yes,
and all of these vicious bills by members of the Senate that frankly are pedophiles, as far as I'm concerned, and that have these egregious bills that take away parental rights and allow people that don't even know these kids to go after them. You have a trifecta, and that's why a comprehensive way to address it is to address all three. And here in the state of California, it is becoming the capital of trafficking, legally, with legal laws that allow this to happen. I mean, it is just absurd. The laws that have been passed and the one that's now on the books about ready to get passed, AB 495,
which we're all fighting for.
Right.
The capital here locally in San Diego, throughout the entire state.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's why education is so important.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
and so the third thing that I did, because again, we need to come together and actually do something. Just talk to talk to talk. Politicians,
Unite.
it's just
Get
talk.
on the same
I
page.
heard this and I heard that.
Take action.
Let's go
Yes.
do something. And
Yes.
so for me, I'm running for Congress based on what I've actually done. This is each of these, there's deep credibility and experience.
Mhm.
That's what's needed to create common sense legislation that truly solves problems, not checks a box and wave your hand, make you feel good, but actually solves problems. And the next big problem is parental rights being taken away. You take away the rights of parents.
That's right.
You now have an open door for all of the various forms of evil to go traffic your kids.
That's right.
You know what? And listen, we need to stop rolling the dice. Well, I don't think it'll happen in my school. Are you kidding me? Right?
Oh, it's coming. It's coming your way. And if you are in another state, I'm telling you, what happens here and passes here, it will happen in your state. So we've got to fight with California. So AB 495, AB 84, taking away parents' rights to homeschool. I mean, can you imagine over 68,000 in the state of California that are being homeschooled now that maybe have, special needs or just not only that they want to be homeschooled, and because the parent is in control of what they're being taught.
The only way to solve these problems is with federal legislation. And that's why wherever you are in the state, give to my campaign, because a gift to me is a gift to all of us, because I'm going not to play politics. I'm going to solve some very strategic issues that I believe the state of California will start winning elections again, and we'll get parental rights back, and we'll save our children. And because all three of these, I have deep-rooted experience.
Yes.
They're just not talking points, and everybody wins.
Come on, everybody wins. So, Sam, we're going to take a moment to thank our sponsors, okay? We've got a couple more sponsors that literally are the ticket to keeping this show alive. So when our listeners support the sponsors, we get people like you on our show today, which is amazing. And every donation to takeyourpowerbackshow.com counts. Now, before we go into the commercial, we're bringing it up. Here we go. Let's bring it up. And let me pull down this banner. That way it's not covering. We're going to come back and we're going to take a deeper dive of what it means to get in the fight, help end child exploitation and trafficking. If you, our listeners, are here in the state, the golden state of California, come to Oxnard this weekend. This is going to be a key event. Pastor Sam is going to be there. I'm going to be there. General Flynn. You've got Tina and Baz Bazil. You've got Laura Logan. General Flynn has a special message. Tina Rhodes. You've got Jason Jones. These are the warriors. I think you might even have Linz Piper Loomis showing up. So these are the people that are willing to fight for the children and show us what we can do on our watch. We don't need to be at the effect and let somebody else handle it. There's something that we can do. So come and learn what you can do. When we come back from this commercial break, we're going to take a deeper dive into the importance of being at this event and the results that come from getting in the fight, helping end child exploitation and trafficking. And I want you guys to go to the website to get your tickets. It is a free event. I mean, that's pretty extraordinary, guys. It's a free event. You can go to americanfuture.net. You can put in all the dashes or just go to americasfuture.net. Click on events. You'll find the event in Oxnard. It's going to be extraordinary. And Pastor Sam, thank you for leading by example, for setting the stage and showing us that it is faith in action. And you've been leading from the front for quite some time. We're going to see you in just a second and continue this powerful conversation. Sam Gallucci in the house, bringing it today. And you all have been listening to the Take Your Power Back show. And for those of you that are just tuning in, I'm your host, Peak Performance Master Coach Kim Yeater. We are going to take a deeper dive when we come back in how to get in the fight California Summit. right after we say thank you to one of my very special sponsors. Now, who is that sponsor that you might be asking that's special? Well, let me share with you what I had for dinner last night. Now, for those of you that watch my show, you're thinking, I know what Kim had. Kim had beef for dinner last night, and Kim had the beef that didn't have hormones, didn't have antibiotics, and certainly did not have mRNA. The best beef you'll ever eat, and I've eaten at the highest level steakhouses. Thank you, President Trump, for amazing beef at Mar-a-Lago, but I gotta say, this is the best beef. Price point blows away Costco, and you don't need to be worried about the possibility of mRNA being in your beef or antibiotics or hormones. Or did you know that in countries outside of the US, most countries will say no to Zeranol, right? They've outlawed it. It's not outlawed here in the USA. What does that tell you? And we know what's happening to farmers right now and to cattle ranchers. And the glyphosate and things going on their crops that the cattle are eating. We're saying no to that. This cattle rancher, this cattle farm is amazing, you guys. They have a manufacturing facility in Kansas. It's debt-free and it's state of the art. This is where you can get your beef delivered right to your home. I had ribeyes not too long ago, a couple nights ago, the best, perfect amount of fat, absolutely delicious and nutritious. And those for you on a carnivore diet, come on, freedomsteaksnow.com/Kim. That's freedomsteaksnow.com/Kim. You can also click on the QR code, go check it out, get your beef delivered to your home today, and learn how you can get $50 off your beef every time you shop and $100 in free American-made products from our Patriots Made resource. That's freedomsteaksnow.com/Kim. Now, our next sponsor deserves a big, just bravo. He's incredible. And those of us in the Patriot community honor him and respect him because he is fighting for the children. And that is our good General Flynn. General Flynn has been in this fight for quite some time. And I am going to pull this up right now. I want you to see this image. And this is his book, Pardon of Innocence. An incredible book, an inspiring story. This is General Flynn's story of faith and freedom. It's a gripping memoir of resilience and redemption. This powerful story narrative traces Flynn's journey from a New England upbringing, Rhode Island. He grew up around the corner from me in New Bedford, Massachusetts, to serving as a 3-star general, director of the Defense Intelligence Agency, and national security advisor under President Trump. Facing a weaponized justice system that targeted him for prioritizing America's interests, Flynn unveils the conspiracy to silence him, including the FBI's framing tactics. Through faith, family, and unwavering resolve, he emerged stronger, delivering a clarion call to safeguard our nation's core values. It's a must read for patriots. This book inspires hope and action to preserve freedom. Get your Pardon of Innocence autographed with your challenge coin and Flynn DVD combo. It's available at generalflynn.com/REF/Kim Yeater. That's generalflynn.com/REF/Kim Yeater. Love us our General Flynn. And what does he say? Local action equals national impact. And it's time that we begin by taking our power back and having the tools in the toolbox, especially a tool like 5th generation warfare. You'll find that at his store as well. All right. So without further ado, we've got another big part of the show. We're going back into the Take Your Power Back show. And that is with our very special guest, Sam Gallucci. Now, he is running for Congress. He has been making an impact for years. His story is a powerful story from the organizations he's created to the books he's written to locally taking his power back and creating a space for we the people to step into, to take our California back. Sam Gallucci, are you ready to finish this show strong?
Oh, I love it.
I love it. All right, Sam. So we're going to talk about, just what it means to get in the fight California. So you are hosting the Get in the Fight California Summit at your church this weekend.
Yes.
So why don't you tell us about what the Friday night legal library presentation and the summit panel with experts like Laura Logan, General Flynn, Tina Bazile, you've got Jason Jones. I mean, you've got Tina Rhodes. You've got an incredible lineup.
Yeah, so it's going to be a phenomenal day and a half. So I want to encourage you to come to all of it. The general will be speaking, and you won't want to miss a minute of it. The doors open at 5:00, and you do need to register ahead of time. So that's why you would register. But what's really important about this library, this legal library, is we have to bring things in the light. The Bible talks about you shall know the truth, and the truth will set you free. There is so many egregious laws that the state of California has passed that violate our constitutional rights. And with each one that violates our constitutional rights, what ends up happening is local jurisdictions, local municipalities, and individuals then will take liberty and distort or take it even further with actions that are beyond the scope of that law that they claim that is part of it. This is what's so important for every single citizen, because you never know when you will face a son or a daughter that is risk of being trafficked. And listen, trafficking happens in a lot of different ways, but that's another thing to talk about. So what's important to this is understand what legal protections you have, where are the guideposts of what you can do, and then contrast that with the legislation and the laws in the state of California that violate our Constitution. So learn about local laws, learn about local regulations, understand the creative liberty or the pure fake lie news, poetic literature that is unconstitutional, and then understand how you can stand your ground with confidence. And this is really important, because when I had the issue with the city of Ventura, we had this homeless ministry. We were exploding. We were rescuing people. We were rescuing those trafficked. And all of a sudden, this very liberal city council gets voted in. And during the Obama years, this was 2012, Obama had a mandate: Constitution be damned, violate it, and let's see what people do. And so here I'm this pastor of this little church in Ventura. They're caring for the homeless, right? And what was our crime? We let them come to church every day of the week. And so, but hey, the church was in a neighborhood. Therefore, well, homeless can't come to a neighborhood. Well, that was going on for 7 years with no issue. And all of a sudden they had issue with that. And there were a lot of situations around that. But what happened was they took the Constitution and they shredded it, and they started to exert above and beyond what the law actually allowed them to do. And I learned this firsthand. And I said to myself, anything I can do to help people understand how the creative liberty or license to break the law has expanded. And we see this in every aspect of life, right? So to take your power back, you got to know the law intimately. You got to know what your rights are, so that you can stand. And what will happen is when you stand firm and then you are courageous and bold with the law in your hand, you'll find that 60-70% of the time, that's all it'll take, and they'll back down. So that's why that's so important on Friday night.
So good. Okay, now let's talk about Saturday.
Yes.
Saturday's training sessions cover everything from sextortion to spotting trafficking houses.
That's right.
How will these programs empower attendees to take action in their communities right when they get home?
So the very fact that we do this, and for me, I pray that those of us that are speaking, each of us have our own story, right? A life and death, courage, courageous, and I respect all of the stories, right? Mine's just one of many. And I hope, my prayer is, and I know I speak for those that are speaking, our prayer is that empowers you and encourages you to take action. If, basically, if he can do it, I can do it.
Come on.
So you will be able to have the practical tools to spot it in your neighborhood. And then you'll also be able to know exactly what to do when you do spot it. So the only thing left is for you to, is to step out and take action. And I hope we inspire you to do that with all of our stories. Because, listen, if the people rise up, there's nothing we can't do.
Come on.
There's nothing we can't do,
That's right. So well said. Sam, how can listeners get involved with all that you've created, the Kingdom Center, Treasured Harvest, or Revive Academies, to support your mission? Is samgallucci.com the best way for them to reach you?
So this is my ask. If everyone listening to this can go to samgallucci.com and give to my righteous effort, give to my campaign. $26 for District 26. You can start there. You can give up to $3,500 is the maximum, or anything in between. Go to my website and give. It will take, it will take millions to fight Julia Brownlee, who has guarded and protected all of these various forms of trafficking and all of its various forms. And we need to break her hold, because her hold, these cartels and this money in the deep state have funded her and has caused her to pivot so far to the left. So she has forgotten why she's there. She's not there for the people. And the only way to beat her, it's going to take $5 million. So if everybody gives a little, we can make a difference. And not only in Ventura County, which is this district, but all across the state and beyond. So please go to samgallucci.com right now and give right online.
Yes, come on, Sam.
Directly help. And then you can also on the website say that you'd like to volunteer to get the word out or to help. It's all right there, and how you would like to help or volunteer. And between all that we're doing with this campaign, which is connected to all of my ministries, because again, I'm running on a platform of us coming together and actually doing something. I'm a doer. Yes.
You are. Faith without deeds is dead.
Yes.
You are a doer. And behind you up top, we can all see the sign hope.
Yes.
It's a reminder. The Bible says suffering produces perseverance, perseverance, character, and character, hope. And hope does not disappoint us.
That's right.
Because God has poured out his love into our hearts through Christ Jesus. You are an example of that compassion, that mercy, and the action and leadership in taking our California back and protecting the children. So thank you, Sam Gallucci.
Thank you. It's been wonderful being on your show, and you rock, Kim. Keep up the incredible work. We need patriots like you that can help inspire us and lead us and educate us. So thank you for what you do.
Thank you. An honor. Well, we're going to have you back, and I'm going to see you this weekend.
Yes,
we're going to see you. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. And one more time, guys, you want to join us. The lineup is incredible. The equipping is incredible. Listen, Satan wants us to feel powerless. Like there's nothing that we can do. That is a lie from the pit of hell. There is something we can do. And we're going to learn what actions we can take. We're going to get equipped for the fight this weekend. Join us in Oxnard, the 22nd and the 23rd. Go to americasfuture.net. You can also go to Get in the Fight California, or just go to americasfuture.net. You're going to see the events. Click on Oxnard. Go get registered. You'll see that the QR code, not the QR code, but the code is church. That's going to give you free access because we are the church. Let's take our power back. Sam Gallucci, you're amazing, a blessing. And I'm going to see you this weekend.
Thank you all. God bless.
God bless you. Sam Gallucci for Congress. Guys, let's support Sam Gallucci. Wow. I feel like the most blessed woman to be able to have this space, to be able to have warriors like Sam Gallucci in the fight and join us. Guys, this has been an incredible, incredible day and an incredible show. Now, there's a couple things I want to share with you before we close out. And these are very important pieces of what we're doing to take our California back. We're hitting the deep state, the corrupt on all sides. One of the ways we're doing that is with a special event we have coming up called the TakeOurCaliforniaBack.com event. It's Take Your Power Back California Governor Showdown. That's right. I said it. It is the Governor Showdown. This is taking place on November 8th. Mark your calendars. It is going to be an extraordinary event moderated by Dr. Douglas G. Frank, by Lara Logan, and I got a couple of surprises for you that are coming up as moderators. Now, General Flynn has a special message for us that day, and our candidates are being highlighted. These are our conservative candidates that share our values. This is about the power being given back to you, we the people. We get to choose who is going to be that one to support our values, but this is also about uniting. We've got to unite together to take this good golden state back. Go to takeourcaliforniaback.com for your early bird tickets. They're up. If you're a vendor, go get it. We have limited seating for vendors. Let's takeourcaliforniaback.com. Go get your tickets today. Now, we also have our sponsorship packages. You want to be a sponsor. If you are a business owner, I mean, you're an entrepreneur, you are a freedom-loving patriot, be one of our sponsors. Support events just like this. It's because of you and your sponsorship that we can create this space. And we're not done. This November 8th event is just the beginning. Mark your calendars for April 25th, because you all will learn what we're all going to see, what President Trump is saying with voter ID, hand count, paper ballot. It's going to happen on our watch right in front of you. We're going to have another event just like this on April 25th, and we're doing hand count, paper ballot. You'll get the results that night. That's pretty incredible. We're going to show you what can be done. So thank you, President Trump. We the people, are taking our power back and taking our California back. Go get your tickets now. It's early bird pricing. Don't wait. The VIP black tie meet and greet with our candidates, moderators, and special guests and leaders from across this great state are going to be there. Go reserve your ticket. TakeOurCaliforniaBack.com. And last but not least, you are in for a treat. Guess what tomorrow is? Oh, yeah. All right, listen, we've done the face-offs. The face-offs have led us to the showdown. So we have 2 more face-offs left. This one is with Pastor Shayon. Let me just say, pastor and entrepreneur, Pastor Shayon. He will be joining us live here tomorrow night at 5 p.m. Pacific. Set your calendar. 5 p.m. Pacific, 6 o'clock Mountain, 7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Eastern. You're going to find it on the platform that you're listening to now. Share it with others at rumble.com/takeyourpowerbackshow/live. You're going to get to hear from Shayon, who is fighting to take our California back. So guys, we're in the fight and we know the power. Oh, that was one of our last shows. We know the power of what it means to locally take our power back. You see, God wants us to use the platforms that we have, right? To be that vessel for him. That's why the Take Your Power Back show was created. And for those of you who don't know the real story, it goes back to me doing radio at KCAA Radio before Salem Radio. And the manager came to me and said, actually, the owner of the station came to my producer and loved my show. He was a secret follower. And he says to my producer, hey, do you think Kim or somebody on your team would want to take on the Recall Gavin Newsom initiative? I was like, sign me up for the Christian Jubilee. I was in. That was the beginning. And I said, God, what do I call it? And literally a download from heaven. He says, Take Your Power Back, California. Recall Gavin Newsom. That was the beginning of the Take Your Power Back show. So you have joined us today for another great episode with warriors like Sam Gallucci. So I want to say a big thank you to every single one of you for being with us at the Take Your Power Back show today. You know, you can find us on all podcast platforms. Let me get that out of my mouth. So catch the Take Your Power Back show with Kim Yeater on your favorite platforms. You can join us for inspiring conversations and bold calls to action to protect our children and preserve freedom. Find us on podcast platforms like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio. Watch full episodes on Rumble, X, Facebook, Instagram. And for exclusive faith-driven content, tune into Faith and Freedom with Blessed to Teach on their platform. Our show is up there. You're going to find us on all platforms. You want to subscribe and share today. And I want to say a big thank you to Sam Gallucci for his incredible work in taking our California back. Join us at the upcoming Get in the Fight California event to change the world, rescue the children, and get equipped for the fight. We'll see you guys on the other side. May God bless you. May God bless California. And may God bless the United States of America. I love you. God bless you.
Thank you for joining us for the Take Your Power Back show. As Peak Performance Breakthrough Coach Kim Yeater speaks to other freedom-loving Americans that are making a positive impact in the world by standing in truth amid adversity. Listen in weekly and learn how to take your power back in your freedom, in your personal and professional life, in technology and creativity, and in your faith. Be encouraged, be inspired, be transformed as you step into your power and take action in your leadership and allow your voice to be heard. Together, let's take your power back. To sponsor and support the Take Your Power Back show, go to takeyourpowerbackshow.com. That's takeyourpowerbackshow.com and take your power back.